computer. And it says it's recording. So before we begin, I'm going to open up with a little number here for you, and then I'll finish with the same song a little differently. So here we go. Okay, well, there was a recording of that. I'm going to play it again a little later, but with a little twist. And I'm going to actually have the camera up close so you don't have to just see my back. I didn't think of that until after I started, and I didn't want to get up and turn it on midway. So, what we have is a song that I'm going to highlight in just a little bit, but I want to go to my screen share here for a minute, and I'm going to pull up a let's see here, the PowerPoint. And if you remember last week, for those of you a little newer, let me see if I can pull this up on a full screen option, move this thing down. All right, so last week, you'll notice that I have up on the screen here, you'll see it says, be familiar with some of the most important features of your instrument. Give me just a second. I got to change some views here. Pardon me. There we go. And this time, I'm going to go back. You see it says rhythm, style setup, songs. We talked about getting used to some of your most important features there. Pardon me. I'm going to just bear with me for a minute. Trying to figure out how to pin my picture on so when I record this, you guys can see me. I'm sorry, folks, just bear with me for a moment. Well, I'll figure it out at some point, I guess. All right, let me go back to the PowerPoint here. I'm going to ask Sean. I see your picture up in the screen, but I don't see mine. So if you're able to do something with that, but let me pull it back up here. So you have the most important features here that you should be familiar with, and today I'm going to be talking a bit about song setups and songs. Now these are basic features. However, I think these features are underestimated. Now, virtually every instrument has a song feature. These are songs that are recorded in the instrument. Song setup, almost every instrument has song setup, but not all. So what I'm going to do is explain what a song setup is. So obviously some of you have this and you use it. And what I'm going to also talk about is how to take the songs and use it as a song setup and take it a step further. So let me see what my next slide is. So here's a picture of some of the models. Here's, if you notice on the left, there is a what is that? That looks like one of the Easy Series models. And you'll notice that it says songs and song setup, the Easy 3, the Easy 4, the Easy 10. Virtually all the Easy models have that. I think the 1 or 2 has just the songs button. On the right, you'll see that's a picture of one of our SD models. The SD Freedom 3 and the Discovery 3 are very similar. You'll see it also has a song setup as well as a song. And then I put a snapshot of some of the touchscreen models. And if you have an instrument that has just one touchscreen, the left side is the same on all the models. And if you have a Marquee or an Aria, obviously you have the full screen, but you have that left screen there. But what you'll notice, the common factor here is that all Lowry models that have a song setup feature, or the new SDs, they're all located in the same place, near your information window. So they're very easy to find. And what we'll do here, let me just exit the screenshot here, and I'm going to bring it over to the camera. Now, just so you know, before I do this, I knew that I was going to attempt doing this today, and last week after the lesson last week, and what I realized was I needed a webcam. Well, I went online and I shopped for 2 or 3 hours, and the response was the same. If you ordered a camera now, it would take you almost a month to get. Virtually everybody's doing online stuff, communications, friends, family, work, business, you name it. So I was kind of in a pinch here, and I thought, well, I'll just use my cell phone, and it has that option. So what you're going to see here is my cell phone camera mode, and for some reason this is the only shot that I can do. So you should see there in your screen there's a picture of the instrument. Hey Sean, if you can do me a favor, if you can unpin yourself on the video so that way.
I'm not pinned, it's on your individual view.
Oh, okay. How do I get
So you'd
rid of
have to
that?
change that.
How do I do that? Unmute audio, ask to start button. Oh, maybe I have to regain host, I don't know. Oh well, so people will see you. All right, your name. Anyway, so there, what you see right now is a picture of the instrument. And then I also have, I set up the tripod so I can get to, and that's my good luck frog. I don't make a lot of mistakes when he's around. But there's a just one of the smaller models. And what my goal here was to, if you have the Easy series and the new Estes, this is similar. And if you have intermediate and larger models, I can explain stuff on both of these. So I'm going to be zooming in a little bit. And I'm going to start over here for a second. And now I'm going to feature, I'm going to talk a little bit about the song setups and the song feature. So if you look on the screen here, there is a, let's see if I can get in right on the screen as I showed you earlier. There's a song setup and then the song feature, which I'll talk about in a moment. But the idea of the song setups, which is really nice, is that both of the models have song setups, and it's just simple. You just pick a song that you want to play. So if I want to play, say, Bésame Mucho, and I touch it, and then and it sets up the instrument for you to play that song. So here's the setup that he gave me on this model. Well, I started to play Spanish Eyes, didn't I? Well, that'll lead me to my next thing. So that was a nice little song setup for that. And then I'm going to come over here, and I won't zoom in. Well, I'll zoom in for now, but you'll see when I get to the panel, I'm going to touch the song setup that you see on the screen there. All right. So I'm going to just simply touch song setup and find me a song that I want to play. And let's see, I wonder, they have a Bésame Mucho in here as well. So I'll do that, and I'll hit select, and then I'll play a couple measures of it. So it's a very pretty style. In fact, I think it was actually a very similar style called the Trios, Los Trios. They labeled it a little differently. So that's the idea of the song setup, is that it sets up the instrument to play the song. Now, the song feature is, to me, a feature that doesn't get used enough. Most people think the song feature is great for just listening to the recordings that are built in, or maybe you have an artist that recorded a song for you, and that's great. But I like to use the song feature for other purposes. So, for example, I'm going to go to my song feature here, and I'm just going to find a song that I might want to play here. Let's see. How about Release Me? Something simple. I'm going to hit select, and it's going to start playing the song. So and there's the recording of the song, and that's great, you know, and if you have a member of the household that's not playing, you can just tell them they can use that feature to play. However, here's how I like to use this feature for setups. Any instrument that has recording capabilities or song capabilities, songs that you can play back, you can use as a song setup. Now, if you noticed, I was playing that song and I stopped it. That setup is now set on the instrument as it is. So what I'll do is I'll turn off the song feature there. You see it right? I'm going to push that button right there. And then I play the song. So what happens is the song features now also become song setups. So you can use that feature multiple ways. This is how I actually get a lot of ideas. When I want to learn to play some songs, I go start with the song setup, but I'll also go to the song feature, so that way I get an idea how it was recorded by the performer. Let's do another one here. Let's see, something simple like a beginner song. We'll press start. This is When the Saints. So in this case, it uses a big band style. Now, if I like that setup, which I do, I'll turn off the song feature, stop it, and then use it for myself. Now, if you noticed, I purposely switched songs. I don't know if you had a chance to view it, but on Facebook last Sunday, I did a little test recording from my home on my iPhone, and I wanted to see how it would sound, so I've recorded Just a Closer Walk with E. I started off with kind of like a gypsy rag, and then I decided to switch to a big band, and I actually liked it. It sounded good. So what happens with the song features is First, yes, they're great to listen to, but second, they're a great tool to set up the instrument and give you ideas for setups. And then what happens is, if you notice when I was playing over there, I hit the C chord to start it up, and I was originally going to play Bésame Mucho, but somehow I got in my head, oh, this sounds great with Spanish Eyes. These recordings can lead you to many other songs. What my encouragement is don't fall in the trap of you have to play what it is that you see. So if you see a song set up on the screen for Blueberry Hill, you may listen to that and find out that it works for Can't Help Falling in Love. You may see a song set up for one song that will work for another. Sometimes I'll actually use song setups or song features to play the song to get the setup to play an entirely different song. And the other neat little feature that the song feature has, if you're a beginner, you can use that feature to learn to play the song. So like in that case there, I'm going to put the When the Saints back on, and there we go, and hit start. I'll let it play for a minute, and then I can take over at any time. And so you can use that feature to play along with, to learn your songs. And then, of course, there's some of you that on your model, instruments like the Holiday Classic, instruments like any of the touchscreen models, SU series, you don't have songs built in. You have the song setups, but you have the song feature is brought up by the use of a USB. And the idea of that is once you have USB or disk drive capability, you can you can access many songs. But what I like to do a lot, and this is where I really this is where I cheat. I'll find a recording sometimes of another performer or artist. We have a lot of great talent at Fletcher Music Centers and outside of Fletcher. You know, many people know Marco Mendez, and he's just wonderful when he plays. But a lot of times, what I especially like is the setup that he's using, and I may not be able to play like him, but I can sound like him. And what I'll do is I'll access a song of his on recording, and then I'll stop it, and then I'll use that setup. Now, what I'm going to do is I have a few songs on this that I recorded, and last week I featured, I think, Cabaret was one of the suggestions that I used. So what I'm going to do is pull up Cabaret, and I'm just going to simply play the song, and this is the recording of me doing that. And I'm just going to let it play for a few measures. And so if you have a recording like that and you like the way that sounds, I just simply press stop, and now that setup remains. Again, this works on the Easy series. This works, it even works on our little quick start that we introduced years ago. It was a little tiny, not even 48 note instrument. Any instrument that has, any of the Lowry instruments, at least from the last, since 2001, that have a recording capability, a song capability rather, and you can play that back, you can play it, stop it, and now you have a setup for that song and any others. Now here's an example. I'm going to play the song using that setup now. The other cool thing I can do with that is I'll play the song and watch the hands. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. So you can play, if you get a recording from any artist, you can play along with it. You can do it on some of the other models. I showed you earlier on the Freedom 3, the Easy series, some of those models that have the split keyboard. A lot of times, Bill Curry, who recorded the songs, will play on the top keyboard. You can play along on the bottom, or you could play on top of it. It's just a great learning tool, and it's also a great way to get another great setup from that. But as I listen to that song, I also start thinking, you know what else will sound great with that? Here we go. That's called musical ADD, where we're playing a song, you go, oh, I could play that one instead, or I could do that one instead. So it's a pretty neat little feature. Using the song setups is great, but the song feature can be used the same way, and you can get a lot of general ideas with that. So that's just a little bit on the song setup and the song feature. Now what I'm going to do is go back to the recording, the song that I played at the beginning, Somewhere Out There. It's one of my favorite ballads that I love to play. And if you noticed, in the beginning I played it all the way through, but this is one of those using the song or the song setup feature kind of comes in handy. So let me bring that back up. And let's pull this up here. So Somewhere Out There. It's a wonderful song. And if you haven't seen the movie yet, it's a great movie. If you have an opportunity to have some grandchildren around or what have you, or encourage them to see it, it's a cute little movie. You see the mouse there looking up to the moon there. It's about a movie that it's called An American Tale. And Somewhere Out There is the theme song, the plot is this mice and their family of mice, they come from another country, and it opens up in another country, and they're trying to stay alive from the cats that are attacking them, and they decide to board a ship. In the beginning of the movie, early in the movie, there's a big ship, and there's a rope that goes onto the ship, and they're all walking on the rope into the little hole. And as they come through the other side of the hole, there's a counter there with a boarding. You have to give your boarding pass. You know, it's really clever how they make it very adult-like. And, of course, the ship goes into a nasty storm, and after it hits the storm, this mouse that you see on the screen there gets thrown overboard, and he finds a way into a glass bottle, and he lands in America. And one of the songs is from the movie is There Are No Cats in America. The reason why they're coming to America is they think there are no cats in America and they're going to be safe. And that's one of the songs. There's no cats in America. And then they find out that that's not the case. And the whole theme of the movie is this mouse trying to find his way back to his family. And then in around this scene of the movie, he's sitting there and with that little boyish voice, the mouse sings a song somewhere out there. It's just a very, very pretty song. And I've always loved playing it. But what I like to do is I like to experiment with songs and not mess them up. And you're going to see there's some styles here that I'm going to go over in just a minute. If you look on the screen there, you could see mellow. In fact, I'm going to see if I can. I've never tried this before. Let me see. Okay. Oh, forget that, I guess. Oh. I'll try to exit out of there. Okay, well, anyway, I can't do it. But you'll see on the screen there that says mellow. You'll see on the Freedom 3 it says mellow. If you look on the right where the Easy 10 is, there's smooth. And I'm trying to, there's a piece of the music. Sorry, I'm trying to get this little thing off the screen there. So there's the music for it. And you can see it's a very simple, easy to play song. Nothing too complicated. Key of C. And there's the third page. And you'll notice some numbers up on the screen, which I'll explain in a little bit. So, when I played the song earlier, I used the style on the right side. You'll see it says Love Ballad. And for many years, I've always played it with that, and it's a great style, and it sounds something like this. And then I use an arrangement to build it up. And then that's great, but you know, a song like this, there are many ways you can play this song. And it doesn't matter if you have a large instrument or small or in between or what have you. And as you can see on the screen there, I have, it says Discovery 3, Mellow Easy, which is what I showed you on the screen. And it says Easy 8-beat. Easy series has one called, on the Smooth Full Band, it's called Easy 4-4. And on the Freedom 3, Mellow, on the Style 2, Smooth 16-beat. And then for the Elite models, 16-beat Standard or Love Ballad. You all have at least one of these styles. And if you have more than one, I would encourage you to try it out. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring the camera back on and show you how you can have some fun with this many other ways. So we have the camera there. Now what I'm going to do, let me see how good this camera is from this angle. I'm going to pull up the screen here. And when I select the soft and easy category, you'll see, or maybe you will, it depends on how good. Okay. You'll see it says 50s Love Ballad, Cat Memory. So in the Love Ballad is the one I used, but I've played the song with Wonderful World, and it works nicely. I've played it with Cat Memories. You'll see Easy 4-4. That's a really nice style because that's been around since the early 90s. And virtually every instrument has it, and it's just a gorgeous style. Works perfectly. There's one called Roses, Guitars. So Guitars is actually on the Easy series as well. And then there's Smooth Piano. There's at least 8 or 9 styles that I just rambled off that'll work nicely with this song. The 16-beat is a style that's kind of nice, and a lot of the models have it. And I'm going to zoom back over to this model, and then I'll finish off by playing it back on the other instrument from beginning to end. And I have to tell you, John Riley is sending me a lavalier mic, and I'm using this microphone, so I have to work around my cords here. But let me just start off. I'm going to play some of the, I'm going to play a few of the styles that I mentioned on the screen. The most popular one here is called Easy 8-beat, and this is on most, and I say most, I say like 99% of the models that have been designed for since 2001 and even before that. And so here's just an Easy 8-beat. It's also titled something different on the Easy series, and if you go on there, it's Easy 4/4, all relatively in that same flavor. And I would suggest, I usually play it at around a tempo of 70. And the other thing I like to do a lot is I use the transpose feature, and I like to transpose it down to A. Just kind of makes it a little more mellow. Listen. So it's just absolutely beautiful. There's many ways to play, and it's just such a great song. I play this song a lot, believe it or not. When I'm having a bad day, I'll go and I'll play a song like that. And there's something calming about the melody. The chord progression is very easy to play. Here's another one I didn't mention. I'm just looking on the screen, and I'm going to try it. It says Heartfelt. Let's see what happens. It's just gorgeous. It's gorgeous style. And so on the, it's a piano type style. So on the Easy series, it might be labeled something else, but just go into your pianist category on your instruments and try it out. Play one more over here, and then I'll finish up over there, and I'll play it all the way through with the other style choice. And this one's called 16, Smooth 16-beat, and over there it's a 16-beat standard, but you're going to hear that the introduction is slightly different, but it's all in the same flavor. It's just gorgeous. Now listen. I hope you like that. I just love playing on. You know, it's we tend to play the big ones a lot in concert, but I just find a new love. Probably, I actually have this model in my home, along with the Discovery 3. So um, that's what I'm doing with my quarantine, and breaking into the Tucson Mall. All right, I'm going to finish up one more time here, and I'll play it all the way through to its entirety. And let's see here. I'll zoom in just a little bit so you have a different angle. Okay. Hopefully that works out for you. And then, let's see here. So I'm going to start off what you're going to hear. And by the way, for those of you who have the Prestige and higher, or any E series instruments, I'm going to send all the materials out, like I said, but I'm going to also include the presets and the recording of this, so you can access that and put it on your USB if you want to use it. Everyone else, you'll have hopefully this whole entire video. There's going to be some, you can go back and watch it, and I'll send it through the email, and I'll upload it up on the YouTube. Anyway, so I'm going to play it. This is with the 16 beat. What was really clever about this song is I went back and watched this movie about 2-3 years ago, and I had played it a certain way for so long that I went back and watched the movie, and what I noticed is throughout the movie they'd always play little bits and pieces of this intro, and it gave me the idea to start the song off that way. And so that's what you're going to hear first, and then I'll kick in the rhythm styles and so forth. So enjoy this little recording. Here we go, or performance. Well, hopefully that sounded okay on the other end.
That sounded great. We're all clapping.
Are you? Well, you can unmute them. I want to hear it.